Welcome everyone to the Monday night call. And tonight we've got the beautiful Sarah, who has just returned from her trip to the USA, doing lots of amazing things by the looks of things, and is going to share with us tonight a little bit about her experience with the Brendan Bouchard.
Yeah, that's close enough. That's close enough. Awesome.
So I'm going to let you speak, darling, and yeah, get on with it.
Okay, awesome. Well, it's cool to be on the call, even though it's a small bunch, but yeah, no, it's really cool to be on. And that's the cool thing about this is like we get to go to all these different events and, you know, bring back the content that we learn. So this Brendan Bouchard, just to give you some background, he's like the coach of the coaches. So he's Tony Robbins' coach, he's Oprah Winfrey's coach. So this guy is really at his top of his game for what he does, and he's all around high performance. So I was just going to go through and give sort of my top 10 maybe takeaways. There you go, Mans. So yeah, top sort of 10 takeaways, because I thought 10 is a nice number, so why not? But I also thought, yeah, as you go along, we'll stop and you can actually have a think about how it relates to you as well, just so it's not content. You can actually sit with the things. And I mean, a lot of it's similar stuff to what you would have heard, but sometimes when it's said in a different way, something can really land. So for me, what was his name again? Oh, Brendan Bouchard. Yeah, have a look. He does lots of videos on YouTube. He's really good. Yeah, so the biggest thing I took away, and it was a combination of things, this one, but it's this idea of what does death teach us about living. So this can be a bit, you know, of a funny topic for some people, but his story is very much like he had a near-death experience where he literally like felt like, okay, this is the end of my life. And there was 3 questions that ran through his head. And it was, did I live? Did I love? And did I matter? And when he sat with those questions in this literally near-death experience, when he had a car accident, he wasn't happy with his answers. Like those questions, he said it was like time stood still and these questions came through. So he almost got an insight into the types of reflection he would have at the very end of his life, but early on. And so, yeah, they're 3 pretty powerful questions. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? And it really helps you when you wake up each day asking those questions. Like if you did have 1 week, how would you show up every day and every moment? How much more would you tell everyone around you that you love them? How much would you just take that risk and do something and say, fuck it, I'm going to just ask this person this, or make that call, or take that trip, or start that thing? So when you really come from that space, it's really powerful to help us live a lot more in the present and be grateful and show up more fully present now. And that was a really big theme, not only just because of him sharing that story, and it sort of was a theme across the couple of days, but also we were over there when the Vegas shootings happened. And one of the guys who was on our retreat actually was there in Vegas, and I sort of became friends with him, and he was in Vegas when the shootings happened, and like literally got into an elevator with a lady covered in blood, and she'd been shot and she'd seen the shooter, and all, like they were right in amongst it. And he just jumped on a Facebook Live in this group I'm in and was just like, girls, like just fucking whatever you want to do, just fucking do it. Because he's like, you never think that's going to happen to you. You never think you're going to be in that situation, and hopefully none of us ever will be. But he's like, he just, you know, life is so precious. So that theme of death and how do we show up and fully live was a really big theme for the trip. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty powerful to put a bit of a rocket up the arse in some regards. And it leads on to like my next thing, which actually there's 2 parts to it. I'll get to it. But he talked about the 3 sort of stages of living. So there's caged, then there's comfortable, and then there's a charged life. And I think most of us know this idea of, you know, getting uncomfortable and all the rest. So I won't go into it too much, but he really, you know, the caged people, I guess, are the people that we're kind of looking for in our business, because they're the ones that are maybe in jobs they don't love. They're not feeling free. They're not living life in the way they want to. So it just got me thinking in terms of like, we're kind of looking for people that are caged and not fully expressing and being the version of themselves that they want to be. So caged, comfortable. And I know I'm guilty of getting stuck in comfortable. And I think in our business, in our industry, that is the sort of biggest risk for all of us, because, you know, we start to live a good life. Like a lot of us are living good lives, but we can get into our routines. And then over time we realize, oh, hang on, I've stepped out of living on the edge of that charged, pushing the boundaries kind of life. So, you know, and it's harder when you're comfortable because there's no pain. So yeah, continually asking ourselves, what do I need to level up? And then charged is obviously when you're taking those risks, you're getting outside your comfort zone, and you're engaged with life. Like you're really engaging with the people, you're engaging with new activities, you're engaging with a challenge. So that's obviously where we want to sort of be playing at. And that's also, you know, when you're plugged into source, when you're plugged into God, whatever you want to call it, you're willing to embrace the suck as well. So that sort of led on to the third point. And I think you can all have a bit of a think about this, and maybe I'll give you some time to actually maybe write some ideas in. Yeah, Mans is like, yep, my challenge to push forward. I'd love to hear your feedback and stuff in this one. So this idea really hit home for me. It's like, so say we've identified maybe we're living in a comfortable life and we want to go to the next level. It was really like everything that's happened to this point in time for us being on this call right now is kind of irrelevant. What's not, we've learned a lot and we've had experiences, but right now in this moment, we can identify where we're at and we can literally draw a line in the sand and say, okay, starting tomorrow, I'm stepping into, and I kind of, the next version of Sarah, and I kind of thought of it like an Apple iPhone. So it's like there's version 5.0, 6.0, there's the Apple 7, the Apple 8, the Apple, you know, so I kind of was thinking of an analogy. It's kind of like we're whatever version we're at now, what does the upgraded version of us look like? What does the upgraded version of us say to ourselves? What upgraded version feel? How do we feel? What do we do? What are our habits? So when we know, yeah, we're ready to up level, and we know, and I know I did this when I was really focused on rank advancing, and that might not be what the next level looks for you, and I'll chat on that more, but it's like when we're going to the next level, how does that person act? So how would a 4-star walk around, or how would like you can get into character of your future self. So to touch on that though, it doesn't have to mean a rank advancement. It could be like the next level of me, like loves to play and have fun. The next level of me is way more present and enjoys the simplicity in life. So you've got to get clear on what your next version looks like. It's not what anyone else's looks like. So maybe just have a quick think and write down some ideas of what version Mandy 8.0 looks like. I'm just picking on Mandy, but all of you can kind of write it down, and then I would love you to share as well. So it can be, like I said, it might be like, oh, everything's simple and streamlined, or the next version of me is super organized, or the next version of me has more deeply connected relationships, or whatever it might be. So you can play along and you can write it up if you want, because that gives me something to work with too. And PS, I'm still recovering from jet lag, so I'm not as charged as I have been for like the last 2 weeks. Yeah.
Hey, Saz, I'm just going to write it in the chat box. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, I'd love you to put it up in the chat box so I can have a look. Get a bit of interaction going. Phoebe, you can put it up, and Laura, if she's there. Laura, are you in a car? Good work. We've got Locke and Claire. I'm not. Oh, play more. Yeah, awesome one, Claire. Because that was a huge theme as well, was bring the joy. And it was just like, when you're in play, when you're having fun, that's actually when you meet people and things flow more anyway. So version, Claire, maybe 8.0, maybe you're up to an 8.0. Plays. Rach is a lady boss. Awesome. And you can actually feel like the energy of it as well when you're like, yeah, I'm a lady boss. Like it's what it really is doing is shifting your identity. Like you can choose to be anything you want to be. It's just getting into a new identity. So this next version of you is a new identity, which requires new psychology. Yeah, so a new psychology, a new energy. Consistency with my exercise and actively making music. Awesome. And upgrading, consistently hanging out in chat conversations. Yeah, cool. So being more engaged. Rory, wow, he's got a lot of upgrading going on. In flow with all, also learning to say no to good opportunities so I can focus on the ones that really matter. Cool. And that was a big theme as well. Mandy, next version of me is procrastinate less and just gets out to play more, travel more, and connect through being a good human. You're already a good human, but you just want to upgrade the play and the connecting side of stuff. Yeah, don't work so hard, Claire's got. Awesome. So it's cool just to, I mean, Roz, I know you've got heaps there, but you might just pick the few that you're going to focus on. But so consistency might be one from Laura. So it's like, I'm a consistent person. Like that is the next version of you. That is just your truth. It doesn't matter what you've done for the last however many years. This is me and this is who I am as of now. And can you feel like a shift in that? If you're like, I'm a lady boss, like I'm just a lady boss. That's how I roll. You feel the energy of it and it's like, I now act like a lady boss because I'm a lady boss. Does that make sense? Yeah. And the other thing that he said was really, Locke's going to be organized, create schedules, calendars, blocks, what I do. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, structuring and scheduling was a huge part of high performance, a really big part of it. So this was also interesting. Next point. What he said about high performers was that the difference between a high performer, an average performer, and a below average performer, and this is really interesting, the low performers had shit self-talk. Like self-talk was massive, he reckons, in terms of high performance. So they have shit self-talk, like I'm not good enough, I couldn't do that, blah, blah. Average performers didn't really say much to themselves. They're just like, you know, cruising along, who knows what they're thinking about. Whereas all the high performance that they studied all had epic self-talk. So they were like, I'm fucking awesome, I'm going to nail this, everything's working out for me, why are things so easy? So I would encourage you, next to whatever you've written on your piece of paper, and you can put up some really arrogant points here if you want, but honestly, he was literally like, just get super arrogant with your self-talk. Well, he didn't say that, but I'm saying that. It's like, what would you actually say to yourself to be this next version? And like, you could get as arrogant as you want. How would you walk around if you're like, everything is always working out for me. I'm so good at consistently showing up in Facebook groups, or, you know, whatever it is for you. I am Laura. I am an athlete. I just freaking love health. I have the sexiest freaking body ever. I am hot. I am whatever. Like, what would your self-talk need to be as this next level version of you? Look, I'm just an organized, like, I don't know, you can think something good. I was trying to think something good there and I didn't have it. I'm a freaking machine at being organized and on point with everything. Simplicity, fun, and play. Rory simplified it down. Yeah, so I would encourage both of these, like, what does next level me look like and what's my next level me self-talk look like? I would actually really write that down because it's really powerful. And like, get cocky, get a bit arrogant with it. Not too much, but, you know, a good balance. So that was really important. We always know this, but this was another element to the why that clicked in. It's like all the things that we could or couldn't do, we need to know why we're doing them just before we do it. So say you've got to make a phone call. Don't just make a phone call. Why is it a necessity that you do it now? Why is it? So every activity you've got to do, Fib's got to write in a group. Why is it a necessity that I write in this group, or I show up, or I engage in this group? And when you get that, which ties in, with generally like your bigger why, but you don't get too caught up. But it's like this next level version of me must do this now because I don't want to die at the end of my life wasting my whole life, or I don't want to be a half-assed human. I want to be a fucking awesome human. So whatever your why is, get clear on that. And when you're doing things that I could do it, could not do it, when something's a necessity, you make it happen. And that was I am such an awesome connector. People just want to be around my energy. I love that, man. I'm a leader and people are attracted to that, want to follow and learn from me. Yeah, awesome. I love those. Get cocky. Well, that's not cocky, but they're good. Another one which we all know, and I'm pretty sure, can I just maybe see a show of hands? Who feels like they win their morning? And what I mean by that is like, you get up, you move, you might meditate, you do your gratitudes, you set your day on task for what you're going to achieve. Like you're really setting up your morning really consciously. Can I just show hands of who reckons they do that? I'm seeing like a, Laura, Fib, Lock, no? Where? No. Okay, I personally reckon this is one of the biggest things 60% of the time, Roz. Yeah. I reckon this is one of the biggest, most important things you can almost do in your day, because if you're not winning your morning, you're not setting your state, your energy, and your direction for the day. So your day can easily be run by the subconscious, where you're just not really creating any change or not really going after what you want. You're just sort of letting your subconscious rule the show. But when you get up and win your morning, so there's many different ways you can win your morning. He talks about movement, like meditation or a mindfulness type practice. And then really like going through your, whether it's a script, whether it's your bigger vision and then your short-term goals, or your day, and just like getting really clear about what's on your day and your intentions. So I've got 3 calls and this is how I want them to go. Or, like if you're not really consciously setting up your morning with like the first half hour, it depends what you've got. Your day is just going to run away from you and you'll probably just, nothing will actually change. So winning your morning, I reckon personally, and from what he said as well, is probably one of the most important things you can do. If anyone wants to chat more about that, I'm a big, I love my morning routines. I probably spend too long. I spend like 2 hours. But I love it. It's like my most exciting part of my whole day. So yeah, but there's simple ones like Tony Robbins is one. Yeah, Mans is it. Yeah, awesome. More than happy that we can have a chat this week and design something that fits in with your time, and it's important because I'd say some kind of movement, some kind of meditation, some kind of visualization or goal setting is cool, because that's when just weird shit starts coming and you don't even know where from, because you're training your subconscious mind. So that was a big one. And habits, high performance, which we touched on with Locke. I was saying before, it's all about the habits that you have. Now, habits can be hard to change, so it doesn't mean go out tomorrow and try and change all your habits, but winning the morning, that's a habit. Every single high performer wins their morning every day consistently. So that's something I'll definitely chat about. But the other habit which came up a few times, which was really powerful, is this little sucker, the phone. So basically this lady came in who was an expert, and she was saying how literally social media is designed to hack our neurology. It's almost like going to the slot machines and gambling. Like, that is the same impact of gambling. That's what it's doing to our neurology and our mind. So what's that? Achieved, haha. Your mind is pretty much, it looked like a slot machine. I thought that when I jumped on the call tonight. It's like, oh, Maz's head's looking like a slot machine. I'm really joking. So yeah, and this is something I've been increasingly aware of recently, and it's so hard because we get so addicted. But really, like, she's designed an app that's for Samsungs, but there's ways that you can, like, put your phone on airplane mode, definitely not looking at it for the first hour or two in the morning, so you own your own mornings rather than just being at the beck and call of what anyone else wants. I would say winning the mornings and your phone are two big habits that will have a massive impact on you creating your reality rather than just going with what is. Yeah, it's a bit scary when you understand what it's actually doing to our brains. And the last couple, expression. This was a big one. He's like, high performers do two things. They really express, but they also check in with people around them how they are feeling. So obviously in our business, it's a big one to, like, express really how you feel and how you think about things. Like, people, when you express authentically, and that doesn't always just mean happy, like, oh, it's like, oh yeah, I found this challenging, or I'm up against this, or if you need help, asking for help. When you really express, it actually creates safety. So when people feel safe around you, they're more likely to be drawn to want to work with you because they know that you're expressing and you feel safe. So really becoming a leader in your expression is really powerful. But then also in our business, obviously checking in with our people. And he did say that we underestimate how much we need to do that. So just checking in, how are you going? How are you feeling? You know, always with the people around us, our family, our friends, our clients. When we're checking in, A, people feel like you give a shit and you care. And B, it again creates safety. Oh, these people, I feel safe, like I'm being invited to express myself here. So I thought that was a really cool one that is really relevant to our business as well. So get your expression session going on. And the last two are pretty obvious ones, and I think, again, we hear about them a lot, but energy. And how long have I got? I might even just demonstrate one of these little tips because I've been doing this and it's a freaking game changer. I've been doing this first thing in the morning, but also if you're just like sitting at your computer or you're feeling like, and you've got to make calls or something, literally this activity, and I'll kind of show you, I won't do all of it, but like you can do it, you start on your legs, but I can't it'd be a bit weird if I get my leg up on it. Should I get my leg up? All right, I'm going to get a leg up. I'm going to keep it clean. Am I actually doing this? Yeah, I'm doing this. Okay, I'm getting a leg up. All right, here's the leg up. Here's the ankle. All right. So, can you see what I'm doing? Can you give me some feedback here?
Yep.
Okay. So, I'm cupping my leg, cupping hands up the leg. Yeah? And then you do it up, all the way up your leg. I'm not going to do it for as long as you can. You tap your ass. It's really enjoyable. Man, he's losing his shit. Honestly, though, try it out, and then you tell me tomorrow it's not the best thing you've ever done. So you do both legs up. You cup up your legs, tap your ass. You do one leg at a time. Then you do the same with your arms to your shoulder. Tap your ass. It's really enjoyable. Yeah, same on this arm, on the shoulder, up your side, other side, and then on your back, you do it there. You do that for like a couple of minutes, and you feel your total energy feels different. You're not that like hyped up, like, oh, I gotta make some calls. Wow. It's like not that kind of energy. Oh my God. Viv and Laura were just getting on, guys. They got excited when I said tap your ass, and they started making out. Awkward. Okay. Oh my God, this has been recorded. I hope no one watches it. You had to be here, guys. So anyway, you get my gist. You tap in. I'm going as red as my jumper now. So is Viv. Okay. Anyway, so we're tapping. You tap your ass. You tap your back. What it's doing is literally waking up. You know how our cells are basically our energy. So if we're sitting, our cells become stagnant. This literally wakes up all the meridians in our body, all the energy cells, and it just helps all the cells start vibrating. So you literally raise your vibration, and it's a clear, connected kind of energy. And then if you make calls from that state, or if you're just feeling like I've been sitting at the computer too long, you do that, totally shifts your state. So that's my number one energy tip. So I hope you all message me tomorrow, said I tapped my ass when I woke up and my day went really well. I'll be like, that's awesome. And Fib and Laura are going to tell me a different story. Anyway, let's keep this clean. Next. Point 9 is person of influence. So they talked a lot about how high performers are people of influence, but they also know people of influence. And two things that all high performers do, I'm a little worried because we're catching up to yeah, look, we're going to do this live for everyone tomorrow at the cafe. So 2 things that high performers do is they challenge the way we think, and they, oh my gosh, I just forgot the second bit. Oh, no, they teach you how to think differently, and they challenge your thinking. So that's what a lot of what we're doing is, really. We're challenging people on their health, and we're challenging people on the way they can live. So we are people of influence, but also to meet more people of influence. I know a lot of people are wanting to attract those types of people. So yes, we want the caged ones that are in pain and ready to change. But when we know influencers, they've got big networks, and, you know, it's really good just in general life to know other influencers. And he did recommend this, which is actually something I literally rung up and booked in today, was to volunteer. And I've just enrolled to do some work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation because it's aligned with ISA, but I just thought, because I've got the time and to give back, but also he's like, it's environments. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, not only is it a nice thing to do, to give back, because we've got these we're creating this life to do that, but he's like, that is where you will meet some of the most influential people in your community, because they're the types of people that work at non-for-profits or on boards and all that type of stuff. So that really got me thinking, like, you know, we want to go out and meet new people. Like Man said, if we're stuck behind a computer, it's not where we're going to meet people. So volunteering or doing stuff like that in your community is where you're going to meet other influencers. So I thought that was a really cool idea for all of us. And basically the last point was just, I've kind of briefly touched on it, but it's just bring the joy. It's similar to Tony Robbins' Beautiful State. It's like, bring the joy. The one thing I do have to say about that is, I think people then think, fuck, I've got to be like joyful all the time. And it's like, that's not life to me. That's not reality. But it's like, when stuff happens, how can I even be grateful for embrace the struggle and embrace the challenge? And when we're going for what we want, how do we find the joy? Oh, that's a bit shit. That didn't work out. But we find the joy in the challenge. So, yeah, always just a bit of bring the joy. And a few of you had like play and all that kind of stuff in there. So, yeah, let's play more and bring the joy to all of it. So that's my little wrap up, but he is incredible if you want to check out any of his videos. And also for the people that want help with the morning routines, I'm like such a big rap for that, and more than happy to like give you some suggestions.
Awesome, Liz.
Anyone got anything to say?
Anyone got any questions?
Any questions? Any more?
I'm just doing my job.
Share your 10 takeaways and BFree page. Yes, I can, Rose. Yeah, just like a write-up. Yeah. Yeah, I'll see you Locke tomorrow. We'll do some tapping technique, cupping. Awesome. Yeah, can't wait. That's awesome. I'm cupping tomorrow. Good. Viv and Laura. It's really good, like first thing when you wake up as well. It just shifts everything. So, yeah.
Too good. Thank you, gorgeous.
No worries.
Always a good call when got a bit of humour added to it. So thanks for that.
I'll throw a leg up. Win your mornings, best take. Yeah, winning the mornings is good. The lady about the phones. Do you know what? She's also the lady that does the Huffington Post. So whoever that is, it's her. And she's recently written a book about sleep. But I'll have a look for you as well. Oh, yes. That would be her. Thanks, Roz. There you go. Okay, cool. So I'll love to, now that I'm back as well, check in with some of you guys individually. I'm seeing Locke tomorrow, but yeah, fun.
Beautiful. Thank you, gorgeous. Good
Much love wherever you are.
I'm going to stop the recording.